We had to leave here last minute because the weather didn't get it right and we had a lot of waves coming our way.
Overdue are helium facing vessel right Ismail Al 8760.
It is such a great feeling to wake up in a deserted anchorage like this one. We wanted to stay longer, but when at sea, the weather is the one that tells you when it's time to raise anchor and go to a more sheltered place.
So we left where we were and look at this. Rain coming our way here. I can feel the little bit of the rain already.
We were in a Cala called Tramontana, and we felt it would be actually fine for the north wind that was being forecasted. But the swell was uncomfortable, so we decided to go to the other side of Formentera for the night. It was a good sail, and we even got away from the rain that had just started where we were. On the other side of Formentera, we went for a dinghy ride on the turquoise waters of this awesome little island. As the night approached, we could see already on the horizon what was coming our way, possibly the next morning. We woke up with joy rolling from one side to the other and checked the forecast once again, just to realize the weather forecasts have changed for the worse. And it was time to make a quick decision.
We had to leave here last minute because the weather didn't get it right and we had a lot of waves coming our way. It was holding fine, it was no issue whatsoever, but since the
Cartagena, Cabolanao, Menorca, Palma, and Ibiza radius. Cabogata, Cartagena, Cabolanao, Menorca, Palma, and Ibiza radius. Pampan. Overdue are helium facing vessel right Ismail Al 8760 with 4.2 meters length, white hull, 3 persons of board, departing from Algiers on the 2nd of May. Vessels in vicinity are requested to keep a sharp lookout and report information to MRCC Madrid by phone.
It's a fishing vessel that left Nigeria and it's lost at sea, so it's a pan telling if anybody saw it to reach out to the Coast Guard in Spain. So as I was saying, we left here, we were in Formentera, and we're going to be crossing right in front of Formentera. We have the island of Ibiza, and the wind is coming from there, which it was a little bit different than what was forecasted. We didn't think was a problem, was not uncomfortable or anything, but if it keeps like this for 12 hours, the waves are going to be way too high and it's going to become uncomfortable and not secure. Besides that, we had a lot of people here with us and everybody left, so that's a very good sign for you to recheck everything and make sure that you find a good spot that is away from the wind. So that's what we're doing. We're crossing the channel here from Formentera to Ibiza, and hopes to get a very good anchor spot at a Cala that is called Cala Jondal.
The wind was very much against us, and we would have to turn both of our engines on full throttle to move forward and get to the other side where we would be less exposed from the north winds. Wind was reaching over 20 knots with gusts of 30 knots more or less. Not a long but tense little passage, as we knew even more wind was coming in the next hour, so we had to move fast. Cala Jondal have a very high cliff on the side, which helps with the north winds, but also creates lots of gusts.
Cor que tá, Joy? Marrom. Muita sujeira.
We anchored at 7 meters and gave 50 meters of chain just to be on the safe side. We bobbed from one side to the other, but the anchor was very secured on the sandy bottom. Next morning, Cala Jondal was a totally different place with not much wind. I'm amazed with the fact that the same anchorage, it transforms itself in terms of beauty when there's not much wind around. We woke up early to see this beautiful sunrise.
We were sailing and this fell from our mast, and it is what holds between the carts. They put this thing here, so whenever you bring it down the main sail, it doesn't, if there's a wind in the middle, it doesn't flap, so we're gonna have to replace this.
Today we sail on the coast of Ibiza to a place called Cala Longa, a tight little cala that we decided to spend the day, have lunch at Joy before continue on our sail to the north portion of Ibiza, where we would wait for the right weather window to cross to the island of Mallorca.
Six o'clock in the morning, and after 30 days here in Ibiza, we're gonna hop islands. We're gonna go to Mallorca now, which is the biggest Balearic islands. We plan to stay for a month there, and this crossing from Ibiza to Mallorca is about 50 nautical miles, and we plan to tackle this one in 10 to 11 hours, more or less. Today is not a day with a lot of wind, but we hope the forecast is correct and we have 10 knots of wind. So we have our anchor, it's already installed, so we can sail to Mallorca today. We're gonna arrive in Mallorca at a place called Santa Ponsa. Yeah, and Patricia, are you ready to go for the sail? Woohoo!
Up to this day, it still gives me chills when I see this particular coast of Ibiza. Back in 2017 with our last Joy, the Lagoon 42, this was the place where I faced my worst night at sea because of bad weather. But today's different. Many years have passed, we found ourselves in the same place but facing different reality. Not much wind, nothing in terms of swell, and truly enjoy what seemed like a scenic sailing in Ibiza.
And what a great place to spend a day navigating from Ibiza to Mallorca. We have just arrived here in Mallorca. It was a great crossing. We didn't have any waves. I think it was about 0.2, 0.3, so it was nothing. And in terms of wind, we were able to sail 60% of the time, and the other 40% we motored. So it was, you know, it's one of those things. If you want a lot of wind, you may have a little bit of discomfort on the way. For us, it was very good, and we are now here in Mallorca, and we're gonna explore this island, which is much bigger than the island of Ibiza. But that and much more we will show you on our next video.